Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah Libas, and we are going to talk about our latest book, Empower Her. And I have some of the co-authors joining us today. This book is really a passion project for me. We're talking about staying rooted in empowerment, what it means to each one of us, and the book is really doing really well. And so we wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive today on what the book is about and you getting to know the authors a little bit more. So before we continue, Hanya, do you want to introduce yourself and kind of let everyone know
a
little bit about you?
So hi everyone, my name is Hanya. So I'm residing from Brampton, Ontario in Canada. So the reason why I chose to write in this book is because I want to talk about the different innovations, different things with South Asian women, as there's been a lot of stereotypes to how the South Asian women were before and are now. Like in terms of the food industry, and even as a content creator myself, as content creator, modeling, there's so many different venues where you see women excelling. So that's what I want to talk about.
Awesome. Thank you. Deborah, do you want to share a little bit about you?
Yeah, hi. My name is Deborah Hillard. I go by DK when I write, and I'm an artist and a creative visionary, a priestess and a shaman. And I use my work as a tool for transformation. And so when I wrote about this, for me, it was very much about the spiritual awakening that's happening now. And I believe that that is a big part of what's causing this shift and enabling women to step up and step into their power, because it's happening on a much deeper level. It's not a surface change. It's a really fundamental shift in how we see ourselves and step into the truth of who we are.
So, first and foremost, ladies, what made you even want to contribute to the book? What was it about the book that called you to want to write in it in the first place? You want to answer that, Deborah?
I can speak to either one of us. I mean, for me, when something is presented to me that just resonates on a deep level, it feels like this is part of my journey, then I feel like I've got something of value to contribute. It's not just, here's another opportunity. It's got to feel really authentic to me. And because I'm experiencing this personally for myself, I felt like I had something of value to offer. I'm experiencing it for myself, and I'm seeing it in people that I work with, that there is something happening here that it's global. It's not just a few of us, awakening. It's happening everywhere. And so I just felt very called to speak to what I'm experiencing on my own.
I think empower her, meaning like I'm her, right? And so when I was creating this book, I was thinking of who is the woman I want to speak to, and in what manner, like what message am I truly trying to get across? And it's one thing, empowerment, the word is used so loosely, especially in the women's empowerment space. But I do believe what you said about empowered or being empowered, and the word her, it is the awakening with what's within us, right? And then once we're awake, then what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a question. Then what?
Yeah. So
it's not enough to just be awake.
No, it's not.
No.
But when you are, it's like, everything changes for you. There's something that happens within, and that feeling that you feel of that empowerment, and it is a real feeling. now you want more of it and more of it. And so I feel like the book and each of the different chapters in the book speak on how, to empower her, which is first and foremost ourselves, and then sharing what we've experienced, what we've gone through for the reader. What do you think, Hanya?
I would say, yeah, I agree, because I'm looking at someone who's gonna be like me, who wasn't like, who actually had to learn some things by myself, right? So I'd want to guide someone like that, because when I started about 10 years ago, where I didn't know actually much, and that time I wasn't even to where I am now. I was a totally different person. I was very young at that time. So it's like, to give guidance to a person who's going to their career path, like as in their long-term job or something like that, you need to give them something that's gonna let them know that there is opportunity. And I've actually met her, like, few people like that they're newcomers, and some of them are artists as well, or running businesses. I was telling them, I'm like, no, you have to use social media as your source to find those opportunities, because they don't come instantly to you. You won't see it on a library poster, but you could find it on Instagram instead, or Facebook. So that's the difference.
So let me ask you this, ladies. With this masterpiece that we've all participated in writing, if you were to give this book to your 10-year-old self, what do you think she would have done with it? And I'm going to go straight to you, Deborah.
Oh, I have such compassion for my 10-year-old self. But that was, over 60 years ago, and life was very different then, both for me and in the world around me. I grew up in the hippie era. I was a flower child and a very rebellious teen, but my 10-year-old self was still living in a family where my voice wasn't only not heard, I was invisible, and I was not allowed to speak truth. So my awakening made me feel very dangerous. I was not safe to speak truth, and I had to stuff an awful lot down. If I were speaking to that little girl right now, if I could give her a vision of who she could become through all of it, it might have prevented some of the trauma, some of the years of feeling like she had to hide herself. Maybe she would have awakened sooner. She didn't have somebody like me, to show her that there was another possibility. The tragedy of a lot of little girls' lives is that without role models, it can be a very scary path to wake up.
Yes, truth.
My 10-year-old felt very alone.
What about you, Hanya? What would you say?
I would say, so to my 10-year-old self, there wasn't any smartphones at that time. There wasn't Instagram at that time. Facebook came in my teens. So for me, I would say that I didn't know the guy who I'd actually danced in front of. That was my own cousin. That was the guy I was going to date when I get older, which actually was a very toxic relationship. So that I didn't know. But then to my teen self, and I could tell my 10-year-old self that there was going to be more opportunities, more different stuff opening at that time, because that time was very limited. And I would tell my teen self is that probably like there's gonna be a lot that's gonna come that you don't know, but it's like you'll get through it, and you'll finally end up doing something that will be that you never thought, like how I never thought that I would be a content creator, but that's who I am now. Because I thought I would just go into something to do with counseling. No, I do facilitation, but my content creation work is more than my facilitation. So it's kind of like that. And sometimes it kind of works with my day job and my content creation together. So that's what I would tell myself, because I didn't know those days, and I thought I was gonna go into some university. I ended up going to college, so that's why I would tell my younger self.
So in the journey of your own Empower Her, what has been one of your most pivotal points, Deborah?
Just one?
Just one that just really just comes to mind first.
Well, you know what? I'm going to share my latest one.
Okay.
Because they keep coming. Recently, I have experienced a huge shift, excuse me, in my own stepping into the life, the body, the awareness of my crone years. Previously, I would say even up till a few months ago, I would have seen that as, oh my God, my life is ending. I'm in the final stages of my life. What value do I, there's so much baggage that we carry about aging as women, especially. And a huge shift for me that has honestly been very freeing is letting go of the need to be anything that I was, and appreciating and celebrating who I am now without feeling like I need to compete with who I used to be. There's a softness, a freedom, and a grace in allowing myself to be older, not have to look so much at the externals, but to settle into my soul's wisdom and know that my value and contribution comes from that place, not necessarily from all of the years of striving and struggling and what I've accomplished. It's not about the external accomplishments anymore. It's about being able to just be me and love and accept and cherish who I am now. When I think about that and how that translates into what we're speaking about in terms of this shift in women, I see more and more older women coming forward and really gracefully coming forward, not trying to be younger, not trying to be anything that they're not, but in that being so much more than they ever could have been in their younger years. There's something happening now with women rising in an authentic, beautiful way. And for me, stepping into and I say my crone years because in a spiritual sense, I'm in a stage of my life where, that's just where I am. That allows me now the freedom to just live my life the way I want to live my life and have that be more than enough because I've earned it. I've earned every wrinkle, every sag, every gray hair, it's just a different kind of beauty and self-love.
So, ladies, what do you feel is the biggest goal for the reader when they're reading your chapter? What is your hope or call to action for the person who reads this book in your particular chapters?
I'll say like to know that there's resources there, and that there's always something there. You just have to just go and find it, because that's how I mentor other people. And I always tell them, I'm like, no, you need to look hard to find it, and you'll get there. So something I do myself is something I try to get others to do it as well, because there's so much in there. Like often there's newcomers that come here, move to Canada every year, but they don't know how much is there. Yes, some things require you to live here for long, some things don't. But the thing is, it's like there is so many different things that you need to use the internet to use it properly, to see it. If you're just like browsing or stalking, that's not a good thing. But if you're actually like looking for something, connecting with people, you're actually doing something. So that's what I like to point out.
What about you, Deborah?
Oh, I would hope that women reading this and men reading it as well would come away with a sense of possibility, to see an opening for themselves, again, male or female, because men are shifting as well, and I don't want to leave them out of the equation. But just for women to come away with this sense of, I am not alone in this. There is something happening that I want to be a part of, and it actually gives them permission to step up, to use their voice, to not be afraid to make a mistake, to be too loud, to, just, I always want women's eyes to open a little wider and their hearts to open to themselves as well. That's what I would want.
The awakening you described.
Yeah, it's an awakening to so much within ourselves and to each other. One of the things that, you talk about our 10-year-old selves. When I grew up, women were still feeling like they were in competition with one another.
They still do.
Well, yeah, I know, but I don't live in that world anymore. But for me, it's so much about supporting one another, loving one another, using each other to raise each other up. All of us as a community, we are not in competition with one another. There's because nobody can be you except you. So there's nothing to compete with.
Very true.
Yeah. For me, that awakening too is it's about that we are all a community. We are all in this together.
I think for me, this book is about each of the women who wrote in it being courageous to share very intimate stories and details. I think that, there's 9 incredible contributors to the book, and each one has a different perspective on EmpowerHer. And I think that that's number one. I think that each of us, we're hoping, and I believe that this is happening, is that the reader who picks it up is able to connect with one or all. And that it opens up this mind shift and this heart set shift to where, like what you said, being yourself, being authentic, and say we pertain this book to the businesswoman. How can this businesswoman empower herself so full and be so awakened that she shines in her business? She shines in all that she does, and her clients are a recipient of that goodness. But the first step is for the woman who reads the book is to be able to empower herself. And each of the chapters are contributing little nuggets to help her find that. And so I wanted to just really acknowledge all 9. Of course, Helen, Adrian, Deborah, and then of course you, Deborah, Dr. Chavis, we have Stephanie Dobble, we have Dorothy, we have Hanya, myself. And I think that every time we pick up a pen to contribute to a book or to write a solo book or put our story out there, anytime we're sharing our truth, I think it shows great courage. And I think that's a part of EmpowerHer. I really wholeheartedly believe that. So we hold these discussions so that you as the readers, or if you haven't gotten this book, this is a good time for you to do so that you can really connect with the person who wrote the book. And so you have, I don't want to call it a roadmap, I want to call it a blueprint. That's my new favorite thing, is like you have this concrete, raw, authentic blueprint of what EmpowerHer looks like. And EmpowerHer meaning empowering yourself, and then you spread your wings and you fly. So this book is still in major retailers all across Amazon. You can get your copy today, and we're still in bestseller campaigns. And so the more people that actually, purchase the book, read the book, etc., it really does help empower others too. So I wanted to say thank you to you, Deborah, and to you, Hanya, for coming on today. And thank you for sharing this time with me. And I hope everyone goes out and grabs the book.
Me too. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, ladies, thank you for joining. And for those watching, grab your copy of EmpowerHer today. And we can't wait to hear what you experienced. Thank you, everyone. My name is Hannah Olivas from She Rises Studios. Bye.
Bye.